Dart skill presents area calculation. The area of a shape is a measure of its stretch on a two-dimensional plane. Let's talk about how to find the area of some common shapes. The area of a rectangle with length L and width W is given as area is equal to length times width. A square is a special type of a rectangle in which all the four sides are the same length. Say L. So if this is L, and so is this, and so is this. They are all the same length. And therefore the area is given as L times W as for a rectangle, but in this case W is the same as L, and therefore the area is given as L times L, which is also written as L raised to the second power, or L square. For a triangle with a base B and a height h, let me show you what's meant by the height. It's this distance, the perpendicular distance from the opposite vertex to the base. Let's say this distance is h. The area of the triangle is given as 1/2 times b times h. Note that the base is not absolute, meaning you are free to choose any of the three sides on the triangle as your base, but the height will also change because it's always the perpendicular distance of the base from the opposite vertex. For example, if you choose this side to be your base, the height will no longer be this, rather it will be the perpendicular distance of this vertex from your choice of base. So if this length is v prime and the height, let's say this is a right triangle, this is h prime, the area is still going to be 1/2 times the new base b prime times the new height, the h prime. And this product will always be fixed no matter which side you choose to be the base. So we have a rectangle, we have a square, we have a triangle, and now let's talk about how to find the area of a trapezoid. A trapezoid is a four-sided shape or a quadrilateral in which exactly two of the four sides are parallel and the other two are not parallel. Let's say the distance between the two parallel sides on a trapezoid is d, and the length of the smaller parallel side, this is parallel to this, and obviously the two other sides are not parallel to each other. Let's say the length of the smaller parallel side is a, and the length of the larger parallel side is b. So we have a a, we have a b, and the distance between them is d. The area of the trapezoid is given as 1/2 times the sum of the lengths of the two parallel sides, that is a plus b, times the distance between them, d. And finally, let's talk about the area of a circle. A circle is defined by its radius. The larger the radius, the larger the circle. And the radius is the distance of any point on the circle from the center of the circle. Let's call it r. The area of the circle is given as pi, which is a constant, multiplied with the square of the radius, or pi r square. Let's look at some problems. We have a trapezoid here. The lengths of the two parallel sides, these arrows indicate they are parallel, and the lengths are given to be 6 units and 8 units. If you do not see a unit, meaning if you do not see a centimeter or a meter or something, You could just say it's a 6 unit length and an 8 unit length. And the distance, or the perpendicular distance between the two parallel sides, this is assumed to be a right angle. The perpendicular distance is given to be 3 units. And we know that the area formula for a trapezoid or a trapezium is equal to 1/2 times the sum of the parallel sides. So it's going to be 1/2 times 6 plus 8 times the perpendicular distance between them, which is 3. On simplifying, we have 1/2 times 6 plus 8 is 14 times 3. Cross off the 2 with the 14, write a 7 here, and therefore the area is equal to 21 square units. If we do not have a unit in centimeter or meter, there's no unit of length mentioned on the problem, just some numbers, you could always write it as square units for area. Okay, let's try the next one. Find the area of a circular ring with inner radius is equal to 3 centimeters and outer radius is equal to 5 centimeters. So we have a ring, and it's given that the inner radius, which is the distance from the center of the circle to a point on the inner circle on the ring, and that's given to be 3 centimeters. And the outer radius, which is the distance from the center of the circle to a point on the outer circle of the ring, is given as 5 centimeters. We need to find the area of the ring, and that essentially means we need to find the area of this portion, all of this. And the area of that portion is nothing but the difference between the area of the outer circle and the inner circle. So we have 2 circles here. The area of the outer circle is given as pi times r squared. R for the outer circle is 5 centimeters. Therefore, the area of the outer circle is pi times 5 squared minus the area of the inner circle, which is pi times the radius of the inner circle is 3 centimeters. So if we simplify, we have pi times 25 or 25 pi minus pi times 9 or 9 pi. And therefore, this is equal to 25 minus 9 is 16. We have 16 pi square centimeters or centimeter square as the area of the ring. Alright, so here's another one. The length of a room is 12 feet and its width is 10 feet. If the floor of the room is to be covered with tiles, each of which measures 3 feet times 2 feet, how many tiles are needed? So we have a rectangular room that measures 12 feet on one side and 10 feet on the other side. And we have tiles that are 3 feet on one side and 2 feet on the other. We want to find out how many of these will be needed to cover this. So essentially, we want to find out how many times this area will fit into this larger area. The area of a rectangle is given by the product of its length and width, and therefore the number of tiles needed, is going to be equal to the area of the larger rectangle, which is 12 times 10, divided by the area of the smaller rectangle, which is 3 times 2. You have a feet here, you have a feet here, you have another feet here, you have another feet here, but they all cross off. You have 2 on the top and you have 2 of them on the bottom. So there's no unit, and that's exactly what you would expect. We're trying to find a number. So if you cross off the 3 with the 12, write a 4 here, 3 times 4 is 12. Leave the 10 out because multiplying with 10 is always very easy. Cross off the 4 and the 2, write a 2 here. Finally, we have 2 times 10, we have a 10 here, which is 20. So you can fit in 20 of these into this larger area.